So if, like myself, you already own or you're looking to buy DJI's new LiDAR-based autofocus system, let's talk about a product or accessory that you're almost certainly going to need, and that's Nitze's Mounting Kit. Let's quickly get into what this is, what it does, and just the sort of problem it solves for DJI LiDAR owners. We have everything you're looking at right here, minus the rangefinder, obviously. That does not come with the kit. But I already screwed this new piece to the bottom. I don't exactly feel like taking it off. We have a 13 to 15 mil rod. We have this NATO rail adapter along with this 15 mil rod that attaches to this piece right here via quarter 20. So one of the biggest features that this adds over the original accessories that come with the LiDAR is height adjustment. I don't exactly understand how DJI couldn't figure out a way to give us the ability to adjust the height of the LiDAR rangefinder. So for example, the original component, the cold shoe mount that comes with the LiDAR, does not obviously offer you the ability to adjust the height. And given the fact that, for example, on this rig, if I had the LiDAR mounted on this, it would most likely not clear any map boxes that are bigger than this. This is a pretty compact map box, all things considered. So it's crazy how DJI did not think to, or just didn't care enough to supply us with the ability to adjust the height, but they didn't. And obviously there's back and forth adjustment. You can add longer rods here to adjust just how far back or how far forward you add this to fit your needs. And on top of that, you can also move it laterally this way. So when you think about everything that comes with this kit and what it offers you and what it enables you to do, for just, I believe, $79, I dare to say that this is an essential accessory for those looking to buy the range finder and the LiDAR autofocus system as a whole. It also doesn't really get in the way of anything that originally comes with it. The only thing you do have to take off, you do have to replace this piece from Nitze with this, but besides that, this kind of works in conjunction with the accessories that come with the LiDAR system. Now, personally, I don't really think that I'll miss this much because once again, it is such a limited tool as far as how it's made and how it was poorly thought out on DJI's part, in all honesty. I don't think I'm really going to be worried about not having this, but you may feel differently. But to me, this is far more versatile as far as just being able to adjust and use in more variety or in different situations. If you're working with compact lenses like I am, something like this could also work, which is just about the same length as the 15 mil part of the original one that this comes with the Nitze kit. So yeah, they're just about the same height if you only need the 15 mil part. And if you so choose, you could add the motor before or after this. I'm gonna add it after. All right, so it barely takes up any space, as you can tell. And it also looks like that. So when you take into account the height adjustment, the angle adjustment, also the back and forth, the ladder adjustments that this allows you to do with the rangefinder, and also when you take into account the price, it's only $79. And I say only $79 because I've seen alternatives to this product being sold for upwards of $500, because I think you're getting a great overall kit, and it just adds so much functionality to the rangefinder that I would dare to say that it is an essential part of any kit involving the LiDAR system. While editing the video, I quickly realized that it didn't make sense for me to tout the versatility of the Nitze Mounting Kit without at least showing it on one other rig. So yeah, I'm just gonna mount this on here and show you guys how to get around the traditional ways of mounting it. So for example, I do have an SSD holder here, and I'm gonna put an SSD in there just so you guys can see. With an SSD, that kind of constitutes a problem, but if you want, you can mount it here. So my cage, this is my tilted cage. Obviously your mileage will vary based on your specific cage, your manufacturer, and all those other things. All right, so with that mounted there, and there you have it. It's off to the side of the camera, but you could also just do that and move it in whichever way you need. But let's say, for example, I had a monitor here, right? There's a few different solutions. This is the first one. Let's say I had a monitor mounted here, which I'm gonna do right now. Adding the LiDAR rangefinder right there no longer becomes plausible. So I'm gonna add a monitor, which I typically do have on this camera sometimes. All right, so that's tightened down. So obviously, once again, if you add a monitor here, adding the rangefinder here, you can still add it, but that's now a problem. So one thing you could also do is use the included 15 millimeter rod from DJI, or even on a longer rod. Add that in place, and just like that, you're back in business. Same thing as previous. Add everything else. All right, first obvious issue with this configuration, you're limited in terms of how you can angle your monitor. That's one. Two, if I had a battery on here, this wouldn't fit. I typically don't power this with a battery. I'm usually using a DC to DC cable, and I power it off this battery, but F it. Let's say you don't have that option and you have to have a battery in here. You could. As you can tell, I do have a rod holder here, but once again, this cold shoe mount that I've added to this handle so I can lower my monitor so my rig's not too tall is interfering with the spacing in here, so I can't put a rod in here. With that being said, let's move on to the third solution that I found. And just like that, we're back to a functioning rig again. Looking back at this, I definitely do wish that Nitze included some longer rods. So for example, this, I understand why they did it. This is also compatible with the RS3 Pro, like I mentioned before, because those use 13 mil standards, but they included both, I guess. I do wish Nitze included some longer rods, but then again, 15 mil rods are extremely cheap. So if you're going to get this kit and you want the ultimate flexibility, I'd advise getting additional or just longer rails. Long story short, I just think this offers you far more flexibility than what comes out of the box with the base DJI LiDAR kit. Hopefully you guys are convinced, or if not, that's okay too. But for me, I'm definitely glad I found it. And it just, once again, adds greater functionality to a product that I was already going to be using anyways. So you can never go wrong with that. With that being said, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Feel free to let me know how you feel about the mounting kit, or if you own the DJI LiDAR system, let me know how you're dealing with the mounting issues or the limitations of how you can mount it. I'd love to hear if you guys find any other products that come close or do something similar. Like I said, the lens cuff does exist that attaches more to your lens than it does anything else, but that has its own issues as well as limitations as well. Plus it also costs $500 on the high end, and also a cheaper version for a little over $100. All right, so with that being said, if you guys are looking to purchase it yourself, I do have a link in the description below. Feel free to subscribe if you found this video at all helpful. Leave a like. I will also be making a video in which I give my thoughts and opinions on the LiDAR system itself. So feel free to subscribe if you want to see that. And with that being said, hopefully I see you guys in the next one. Peace.